It is an easy, observed fact that before a body is transformed from unhealthy to healthy, first, the mind in that body must be transformed. Before a marriage being transformed, both minds of those in that marriage must be transformed. Before a business or a company being transformed, the mind of the one conducting that company must be transformed, followed by those who are associated with that company. And that's how you find every human invention. First, they existed in the mind of someone, and then they came to physical, material existence. In other words, the human mind is the greatest generator, creator of things, because God made us under His likeness and image, and also gave us the power to generate, to do, to transform things. Using this power that He placed in us, we were made just under the angels, as the Holy Scriptures say. And in Romans chapter 12, verse 2, it's written, "And do not be conformed to this world," which means do not adapt yourself to the world. Do not live like the people in this world. Don't be taken by the world, following the course of the world as one who follows the currents of a river and allows to be taken by it. No. Do not be conformed to this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind. Mind, understanding, must be renewed, otherwise is outdated, is left behind. The mind must be renewed. How? As in everything in life will be kept in a good state, must be cleaned, go through maintenance, be taken care of, that it may remain serving its purpose. And the mind has this tendency, if not renewed, to attach itself to ideas that do not work anymore. Maybe you are suffering in your marriage because you are attached to ideas that are no longer fit for your marriage, but you are more married to those ideas than with your partner. You are more married to those preformed ideas in your mind than to the one who you call the love of your life. This is lack of the renewing of the mind. Maybe you are in a field of work or in a way of working that is outdated, and as everything in the world is advancing, we are in the era, in the age of artificial intelligence. Everything's robotic, and many jobs are being lost. Many are becoming, in their field of work, obsolete. And they ask themselves, why have I lost my job? Why? Because they haven't followed the advance in their area of work. Because advancing will always be needed. And the person who is not advancing will not be needed anymore. They become obsolete. Life and mind is the same. If you don't renew it, then you will be left behind. You will become old, not necessarily in the body, but with an old spirit, and you will be left behind. And if you are not transformed in the mind, how will you transform the outside, your life, the things that you would love to be transformed in your life? This is the greatest foolishness of humans. They desire the transformation on the outside, but inside they remain attached, married to their old ideas, concepts, habits, and ways. There's no way to change, and God teaches that. So if the power of transformation in my life is in my understanding, in my mind, so what do I have to do? How should I act? What should my strategy be? Well, the strategy should be to fill my mind with the word of the one who created. The words of the one who created. Who created the human mind has to be superior to it. This is natural. The one who created the human mind is superior to it. So if he is superior to our mind, intelligence tells us. What else can he teach us? What is the manual that he left for us to use this tool called our mind? What is this manual? The manual is his word. He left it written how we should act on every ways and areas of our life. But because the human being does not want to submit to a creator, a superior, they like the idea of being free. I want to do what I think, what I feel, what I like. And they don't understand that the person who fights so much for their freedom, they end up becoming a slave of it. Yes, a slave of freedom. They want to do everything that they like, they feel, and they become a slave of their own freedom. And they don't understand that the true freedom comes from discipline, comes from you doing what you want, but you choose only what is good and not all that you want. That's the true freedom. I could do it, but I don't do it because I'm not a fool to do what will hurt me. So unfortunately, the human being resists the divine mind because they think they will become slaves, subjected to it. But slave, all of us will be, whether of ourselves, ideologies in this world, philosophers that we chose to follow their philosophies, slaves of work, will be slave of somebody. Because you are not a God and you will follow someone. You are not self-sufficient. You will follow someone. So if I will follow someone, why not the greatest of all? Why not the most intelligent? Why not the creator, the one who created me, who made this mind? Why not? Let's think just a little, just a little, just a little. Don't burn your own brain by overusing it, because perhaps you don't subject to the Word of God, but you subject to the prescription of the medicine, words in social media, words from your governors, words in the shampoo bottle. You subject to every word that comes to your mind. That mess your day. If someone leaves a contrary comment towards you in your social media, that ends your day. If somebody tells you a harsh word, bad behaved, that spoils your day. In other words, you listen to the words of this world. You enslave yourself by the words of this world, but you don't subject to the words of God that are all good. And the text goes on, saying, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind, that you may prove what is that good and acceptable and perfect will of God. The will of God will never be bad for you. Pay attention. God will never ask you to do something that will hurt you, contrary to other things and people in this world. When you go to a doctor and they tell you, this is your problem, you need to take this medication. And they warn you, listen, there's a side effect to this medicine that can cause this or that. In other words, the word of the doctors, with all good intentions, will recommend, prescribe you a medicine that probably will cure the problem, but also cause you more problems. The words of God have no side effects, never, because it is good, acceptable, and perfect. So it's a matter of intelligence. It's a matter of those who use their mind for good to decide to listen to His words. And if your mind is transformed by the words of God, so the rest of your life will also be transformed. If today's video helped you and you know someone that could benefit from it, share it with them, and if you haven't subscribed to the channel, you may do so now. See you later.